In the midst of financial hardship, Jesus said, "My love for them is too great to burden them with blessings they aren't prepared to manage." His words resonated profoundly, shedding light on the true purpose behind our trials and challenges. As he spoke, I sensed a profound connection between faith and the timing of the divine. Every challenge was not punishment, but a time for growth, refinement, and readiness. The scene shifted once more, showing believers who endured their trials with resilience and steadfast faith in God. "Look," he pointed out, "these are the ones who realize that true wealth isn't counted in material goods, but in spiritual abundance." In those moments, I understood that each prayer and every tear of desperation served a purpose. Jesus stressed that adversity could lead to a stronger reliance on him, forging a deeper bond rooted in trust and faith. "Stacy," he spoke softly, "when my chosen ones grasp the lessons taught through their financial difficulties, they transform into beacons of hope for others." Tears welled up in my eyes as I saw the transformation in those believers. Their hearts grew more compassionate, their faith more resilient, and their lives became powerful testimonies of God's grace. The vision shifted again as Jesus explained that financial breakthroughs were on the horizon, but only when his followers were prepared to manage those blessings with humility and faithfulness. As these truths sank in, I felt a profound duty to share what I had seen. I realized I was given a message of hope and insight, not just for myself, but for all who were grappling with tough financial circumstances. "Remember, Stacy," he reminded me, "there is purpose in the waiting. Your struggles are temporary, yet they are shaping you for the prosperity I plan to bestow upon you." With every word spoken, the weight of my anxiety began to lift off my shoulders. The challenges I faced as a single mother, the deep wounds left by abandonment, and the haunting uncertainties had all transformed into steps leading to a hopeful future. As my time in that hallowed place came to an end, Jesus shared a profound insight with me. Our stories are powerful. Share your story, Stacy. Let others know they are not alone in their struggles. Show them that financial hardships can be pathways to spiritual enlightenment. I nodded in agreement, committing to spread this message far and wide. In that moment, I realized my purpose. The hardships I had faced were not meaningless. They were part of a larger design crafted by a caring God, meant to reveal his plan for my life. When I returned to consciousness, the effects of the anesthesia started to wear off, and I woke up to the familiar noises of the operating room. I understood then that I had been shown a slice of a larger truth, a deep insight into the challenges that many faithful endure. As I move forward on my spiritual path, I hold dear the lessons from those 9 minutes and 12 seconds. I've learned to welcome my challenges, recognizing that they are molding me into whom God intends me to be. By sharing my experiences, I aim to inspire others to see value in their financial struggles and to trust in God's impeccable timing. Financial struggle, Jesus clarified, is not a punishment. It's a form of protection and preparation. Then, Jesus revealed something astonishing that took my breath away. He showed me the spiritual battles occurring in the unseen world. I witnessed dark forces deliberately targeting those anointed by God with financial hardships. These demons were acutely aware of who bore God's blessing and strategically imposed financial hurdles to weaken and overwhelm them. "The enemy recognizes who holds my most important missions," Jesus stated. Financial adversity is often an indicator of spiritual importance. Many of my followers don't understand that their financial difficulties are actually affirmations of their divine purpose. Jesus led me through various scenes, each unveiling why the chosen often face financial difficulties. He illustrated how financial challenges dismantle illusions of security, compelling a total reliance on God. I perceived how each unpaid bill and every economic crisis was actually a chance for God to demonstrate his loyalty. "Do you remember the Israelites in the wilderness?" Jesus inquired. "I provided manna daily, not yearly. This wasn't due to an inability to provide for a year. It was a lesson in daily dependence on me. Many of my children today are undergoing their own wilderness, learning the same principle." Then, Jesus revealed something that brought me to my knees, though I was not in my physical form. He showed how financial hardships often shield us from harmful relationships and perilous opportunities that could divert us from our divine path. "Watch this," he said as he guided me through scenes of my own life. I saw business ventures I had missed due to financial limitations, which had initially left me feeling disappointed. But then Jesus revealed how these missed opportunities would have steered me away from my true purpose. What I had perceived as God's denial was actually his protection. "Daughter," Jesus spoke, placing his hand on my shoulder, "your poverty is temporary, but its purpose is eternal. I am not punishing you. I am preparing you. Each bill you struggle to pay, every moment you rely on me for your needs, you are learning vital lessons that will aid you in fulfilling your kingdom assignment." He then illustrated how financial hardships act like a refiner's fire, purging impurities from our character that would otherwise render us unsuitable for our divine tasks. I saw how times of scarcity unveil our true intentions, disclose our concealed idols, and test our loyalty. "Many pray for prosperity," Jesus explained, "but they fail to realize that character must come before wealth. I will not grant riches that could potentially ruin the souls of my children." Then, Jesus revealed something that truly astonished me. He showed me the spiritual strength of finding contentment despite financial scarcity. I observed how believers who kept their joy and trust in God amidst economic challenges were actually amassing a spiritual fortune far surpassing any earthly wealth. "Watch this carefully," Jesus urged, as he presented scenes of believers living in material poverty, yet abounding in spiritual richness. Their prayers were potent, their faith was steadfast, and their influence on others was profound. "These are my true prosperity pioneers," Jesus declared. "They have mastered contentment in all situations, and this fortitude makes them formidable in my kingdom." Jesus then revealed something that moved me to tears with its profound clarity: the generational impact of financial struggles. In a moment that seemed to span an eternity, I witnessed family lineages, including my own, unfolding back through the ages. "Look closely," Jesus guided. "Many of my chosen ones are called to break generational cycles. Before me, I saw the persistent patterns of poverty, scarcity, and financial mismanagement that had been inherited through generations like dark spiritual legacies. Yet, in the midst of this, I witnessed a beautiful transformation, how God purposefully places certain believers to shatter these enduring cycles. You are not just enduring these hardships for yourself," Jesus elucidated. "You are waging a war for your children, your grandchildren, and the generations that will follow. Through you, I am forging new patterns of financial prudence and spiritual integrity that will bring blessings to your descendants." He illuminated how my own financial hardships were actively dismantling chains that had ensnared my family for generations. I visualized my grandfather's struggle with gambling, my father's endless cycle of debt, and then, in a moment of triumph, how my own financial battles, fought with steadfast faith, were effectively rewriting my family's spiritual legacy. This is why the enemy so vehemently opposes your financial liberation, Jesus disclosed. He understands that once these generational chains are shattered, they are shattered for good. Then Jesus presented a revelation that left me in awe, the aspect of divine timing in financial emancipation. I saw how God's timing was impeccably aligned, not just with my life, but intricately with the lives of many. Like a grand master in chess, he was maneuvering events and circumstances in ways that transcended my comprehension. Many of my followers ask for quick solutions, Jesus explained, unaware that a rushed blessing could undermine the greater plan I have in mind for them. Observe this. He then pointed out instances where believers, in their eagerness for financial gain, resorted to risky methods like high-interest loans, dubious business ventures, or even sacrificing their morals. These actions often led to ruin. What initially seemed like answers to their prayers turned into traps, ensnaring them in even deeper cycles of misery. My timing is impeccable, Jesus stressed. I consider not just your current needs, but your ultimate purpose and the impact on those around you. Then Jesus shared an insight that illuminated the bigger picture. He explained how financial hardships sometimes shield us from acting on premature desires. I witnessed how some believers, desperate for a breakthrough, might have made decisions that could have jeopardized their divine missions if they had the resources to do so. Stacy, Jesus addressed me, some of my followers aren't yet prospering financially because they would prioritize their own empires over mine. I'm waiting for them to fully surrender their hearts. He then guided me through moments from my own life where I had fervently prayed for financial relief. With newfound clarity, I understood how having those prayers answered earlier could have caused me to bypass crucial encounters and growth experiences vital for my spiritual journey. Your challenges aren't punishments, Jesus clarified. They are preparations for a level of authority and responsibility that demands spiritual maturity to manage effectively. Jesus also unveiled a new perspective on spiritual warfare that I hadn't grasped before. He revealed how the adversary strategically targets believers with significant roles in the kingdom by undermining their financial stability. Watch carefully, he instructed, as he unveiled scenes from the spiritual realm. I observed demons deliberately placing financial hurdles in the paths of believers poised to embark on significant ministry roles. These were not mere random setbacks. They were intentional efforts designed to discourage and disrupt God's elect. But here's what my children often overlook. Jesus elaborated. These attacks actually signify their calling. The enemy does not squander his efforts on those who do not threaten his reign. Jesus then explained how financial hardships often act as a divine sieve, separating those who truly adore God for his essence from those who seek him for his blessings. I witnessed believers undergoing trials, similar to Job, to validate the sincerity of their faith. Many profess their love for me, Jesus remarked, but their affection is tied to what I provide, not to my presence. Financial difficulties expose the real state of their hearts. Then he revealed something that clarified everything, how financial limitations often ensure our reliance on God. I witnessed believers who, upon gaining financial freedom, gradually ceased their prayers, stopped seeking divine direction, and started to trust in their own wisdom and resources. This is why I sometimes restrict financial abundance, Jesus explained. I prefer my children to depend on me rather than fall prey to self-sufficiency. As he continued to unveil these truths, Jesus showed me something astonishing, the tangible link between financial hardships and spiritual authority. In the spiritual realm, I saw how each economic challenge, when confronted with faith, was actually strengthening spiritual fortitude and authority. My chosen ones often dwell on what they lack, Jesus pointed out, overlooking what they are gaining. Observe this closely. He revealed to me believers who kept their integrity during times of financial struggle. In the physical world, they seemed to be suffering, but spiritually, I saw them gathering what appeared to be shining accumulations of spiritual authority. Every bill settled by faith, every generous act despite scarcity, every choice of contentment amid difficulties was constructing something everlasting. This is why I allow many of my chosen ones to go through extended periods of financial trials, Jesus explained. It's not merely about learning to manage money. It's about mastering the ability to wield spiritual authority without succumbing to corruption. Then Jesus shared an insight that transformed my perspective on financial hardships completely. He demonstrated how God frequently employs financial constraints as a strategy to maintain His chosen ones aligned with their divine calling. Observe the consequences of granting financial prosperity prematurely, Jesus cautioned, as He showed me scenarios that saddened me deeply. I witnessed believers who, upon receiving financial relief, quickly left their designated areas, deserted their ministry tasks, or became so absorbed in preserving their wealth that they entirely overlooked their divine engagements. Sometimes, Jesus clarified, what appears as financial bondage is actually my method of ensuring my children are ideally positioned for their purpose. He then revealed to me how financial struggles can serve as a powerful platform for testimony. I observe believers who, having endured and triumphed over periods of scarcity, possessed a level of spiritual authority in teaching about faith and provision that no theological education could match. Your challenges are not solely about you, Jesus stressed. They're about the thousands who will gain hope and learn from your stories of overcoming. Jesus then shared an insight about spiritual growth that left me astonished. He explained how financial difficulties often act as a spiritual incubator, fostering an environment where profound spiritual roots can grow. Many of my children pray for financial relief, Jesus said, not realizing that their current hardships are actually nurturing the spiritual depth needed for their upcoming missions. As he continued, I saw believers who, through their financial trials, were cultivating levels of faith, endurance, and spiritual authority that would be unattainable in a state of comfort and wealth. This is why I sometimes postpone financial breakthroughs, Jesus elucidated. I'm not depriving my children, I'm investing in their spiritual growth. Jesus then shared with me a profound insight into divine protection that brought tears of gratitude to my eyes. He illustrated how financial hardships can act as a safeguard, preventing believers from engaging in relationships, seizing opportunities, and following paths that could ultimately thwart their divine destinies. Observe closely, he instructed, as he guided me through scenes of my own life. I revisited business opportunities that had once left me heartbroken when they slipped through my fingers, relationships that had dissolved due to my financial constraints, and dreams that remained unchased because of insufficient funds. Yet, Jesus revealed how each of these missed opportunities had actually steered me closer to my true purpose. What you perceived as my withholding, Jesus explained, was in fact my way of protecting you. My love for you was too great to allow you to be swayed by untimely wealth. He then enlightened me about spiritual warfare, offering a fresh viewpoint on financial struggles. I saw how the adversary often attacks the finances of believers, as it is one of the most potent means to divert them from their divine missions. The enemy is aware, Jesus clarified, that if he can keep my children preoccupied with just surviving, they will not have enough energy to fulfill their kingdom duties. But observe what unfolds when my children manage to flourish spiritually, even in scarcity. He revealed believers who had managed to preserve their joy, peace, and spiritual concentration even amidst financial strain. These individuals wielded a spiritual authority that caused demons to quake in fear. This is the reason I let some of my chosen ones undergo extended financial trials, Jesus explained. They are mastering how to be spiritually potent, no matter their situation. Then, Jesus disclosed insights about divine timing that illuminated everything with perfect clarity. He illustrated how the timing of financial breakthroughs is deeply linked to spiritual growth and divine purpose. Many of my children, Jesus noted, are not yet prepared for the level of influence that financial prosperity would grant them. I'm shielding them from being exposed too soon. I observed, as he pointed out believers who had achieved financial breakthroughs precisely when they were ready, when their character had been thoroughly shaped, their spiritual foundations were robust, and their hearts fully committed to God's plan. This is why I often postpone financial liberation, Jesus remarked. I am waiting for my children to reach spiritual maturity, capable of managing both the blessings and the responsibilities that come with wealth. During my continued visit in this holy place, Jesus led me deeper into understanding the spiritual aspects of financial challenges among his elect. Come, Jesus beckoned, taking my hand. There are more truths for you to carry back. He showed me how financial constraints serve as lessons in true contentment, a concept Paul articulated in Philippians 4:12-13. I observed believers who had learned to derive their joy from Christ rather than their circumstances, those who could sincerely declare their contentment, whether in abundance or scarcity. In your world, Jesus pointed out, people pursue happiness through acquisition, more money, more possessions, more status. However, observe the outcome when my followers find their satisfaction solely in me. Before me, individuals emerged who exhibited a divine peace despite their depleted finances. Their joy was not tied to their material conditions. It stemmed from a profound relationship with Christ that surpassed their economic statuses. These individuals have unlocked a secret, Jesus revealed. By finding their contentment in me, they have access to true freedom, a freedom that no wealth could ever buy. Then, Jesus shed light on the issue of misalignment with his timing, which helped me understand my own financial struggles more clearly. Many of my children, he explained, do not see financial breakthroughs because they are not yet aligned with my divine schedule. Observe this. I witnessed believers who were forcefully trying to open doors, desperately networking, and manipulating situations to forge financial opportunities, all while God was meticulously crafting something far more splendid that required patience. Ecclesiastes 3:11 tells you that I make everything beautiful in its time, Jesus reminded me. Some of my children are struggling financially, not because I am withholding from them, but because they are moving ahead of my perfect timing. He then showed me how God often operates in the background, coordinating circumstances, aligning people, and setting up opportunities that will come together at the precise moment, not a moment too early or too late. The waiting isn't a punishment, Jesus stressed. It is preparation for a blessing that will come at exactly the right time. Jesus then turned my focus to a vital lesson. how financial challenges often expose prior mismanagement of divine provisions. Some of my followers, he explained, suffer from scarcity because they have not yet mastered the art of managing what I've entrusted to them. I observed scenes of believers who had once been blessed with financial abundance but had wasted it on reckless purchases, neglected to save, or overlooked spiritual advice on donating and investing. There's deep insight in Luke 16:10. Jesus continued, "Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much." Some of my followers face financial difficulties because I am teaching them how to responsibly handle smaller resources before granting them larger ones. I witnessed how God uses these periods to overhaul financial behaviors, alter spending habits, and cultivate the wisdom essential for stewarding future blessings. Then Jesus illuminated the deeper purpose of the kingdom's challenges, making the bigger picture clear to me. He pointed out believers who, due to their divine missions, were enduring periods of financial hardship. Observe closely, Jesus guided, as he highlighted individuals engaged in ministry, humanitarian efforts, or community projects that offered no immediate monetary rewards. These faithful servants often wonder why they face hardship while fulfilling my plan, Jesus shared. They don't realize that their mission necessitates this temporary hardship, not as a punishment, but as preparation for greater tasks ahead. I witnessed how these times of economic strain were sculpting their faith, ingenuity, and endurance, qualities vital for their roles in the kingdom. Their poverty is not a permanent state, Jesus reassured me. It is a purposeful preparation for a role that demands a spiritual depth only achievable through trials. Then, Jesus revealed the ultimate significance behind financial tribulations as a forge for spiritual growth. 1 Peter 1:6-7 talks about trials that refine faith, more valuable than gold, Jesus explained. Financial difficulties are often that refining fire. Before me, I saw believers navigating economic challenges with dignity and faith. From a spiritual perspective, I could see each financial trial purging impurities, vanity, self-dependence, materialism, and earthly ambitions, and leaving in its wake a faith refined and invaluable. This refinement is not a punishment, Jesus clarified. It's preparation for an everlasting glory that far outweighs any fleeting financial gain I might bestow. As our encounter drew to a close, Jesus gently placed his hands on my shoulders. "Stacy," he began, "you must go back and share these insights. Many of my children suffer needlessly because they misunderstand the reasons behind their financial difficulties." Tears streamed down my face in my spiritual form. Softly, I asked, "Lord, will I be able to remember everything accurately?" Jesus offered a comforting smile. "I will assist you in recalling every detail when you need it most. Tell my people that their financial hardships are not a punishment. They are protection, preparation, and purification for purposes far beyond their current understanding." With those final words, I felt myself being pulled back to my physical existence. The last phrase I heard from Jesus as I departed was, "Tell them I have not forgotten them. Tell them their breakthrough is imminent, coming at precisely the right moment." When I regained consciousness in the recovery room, the nurses were visibly shocked. Medical records indicated that I had been clinically dead for 9 minutes and 12 seconds. The doctors deemed my recovery a miracle, noting no brain damage, contrary to their fears. Yet, I knew this was more than a medical marvel. I had been entrusted with a divine mission to convey these truths about the financial trials of God's chosen ones, This testimony isn't designed to minimize the real pain associated with financial struggles, but rather to lend a divine significance to that pain. If you find yourself in financial difficulty despite your dedication, understand this. You are not forgotten by God. He is preparing you, protecting you, and purifying you for a purpose that surpasses temporary wealth. Your breakthrough will come, not according to your schedule, but in alignment with His perfect timing. When it does, the reasons for your waiting will become clear. Until that moment, seek satisfaction in Christ, manage wisely what you possess, trust in His timing, and hold on to the knowledge that your present challenges are crafting eternal riches that no thief can take and no rust can tarnish. May this testimony offer you the peace and insight it has given me. Although my financial state hasn't changed overnight, my outlook has shifted profoundly. I no longer view my financial challenges as punishments, but as preparations for a grander purpose that will manifest in God's perfect timing.